Greetings, fellow scrappers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Starsector Scrappy Privateer, Episode 2, Scrap Heaps. Alright, we are ready to return back towards core. It might be worth swinging by Alpha Manuela to try to recover some of those ships that we had available to us. So it was what, a Griffin and a Medusa, I think? Medusas are pretty strong player ships to be controlled. And then I think it was a Griffin missile cruiser. Griffin missile cruisers are okay-ish. They're not bad. I mean, beggars can't be choosers and all. So the other thing to consider is adding lackluster ships to the fleet. Increases fleet crew, costs, fuel, supplies, and if they're not pulling their weight, it might not be worth it. Now that we're a little ways into the start as well, I think it is a good time for the first giveaway. So I'm going to be raffling off the names of the ships and the first officer that I have. That will be the first one that I raffle off. So raffle timer is up. I also have a question for you guys. Should I consider speed running the jump drive quest line? I probably wouldn't do it now because I don't have these means or supplies to do it quickly now, but what that would mean is, like, let's say, you know, a few hours from now when I feel pretty well set up with like a fleet that can manage it to do quickly, and the amount of supplies and fuel required to do it without going bankrupt, running through that quest line without reading anything, just like blitzing through it in order to get the jump drive that I have on my ship to actually be working. All right, so venture cruisers suck, to say the least. So that's not one that I'm going to be interested in. So let's start with the. So vanguards are, as far as heavy frigates go, they suck too. The Buffalo, I'm going to start with the Buffalo freighter because having more storage would be nice. So this is an instance, this is a pirate Buffalo freighter, by the way. This is an instance where I can either spend a story point to recover the ship or not, and I'm going to pass on it. I don't think that a Buffalo warrants special consideration for recovery. The Griffin missile cruiser. Now, that is a bigger ship that would definitely enhance the combat capabilities of our fleet. They're okay. So let's take a look. This one has compromised armor and erratic fuel injector, so it's easier to be destroyed, and it's more expensive to run, fuel-wise. Yeah. Let's do it. I'm going to use a story point to recover it. Now, I also don't have enough crew to man it, so I'll probably have to mothball it initially. But we have a missile cruiser in the fleet now. And I'm just going to mothball it. Mothballing means just, like, have it idle and be tugged or towed. Okay. The Venture-class cruiser I have no interest in recovering because those are really bad. They're barely combat ships. Mercury Shuttle, that's another garbage one. Wayfarer, another kind of garbage filler ship. Now, the Vanguard Heavy Frigate probably is not worth a story point, but is not a terrible ship. So this is what it is. It's a little strike frigate. It's kind of like a miniature enforcer, like I'm driving. This one comes with a whole lot of hull mod damages, so it's not one that I'm interested in. We have to be picky. I mean, there is not a... So the way story points work is every time you level, you gain 4 story points per level, and then you keep gaining story points as if you level past max level. So there is not a finite amount of story points, but you don't have a lot of them. In other words. Alright, and this was just a Hound, so I can ditch that too. And then the Medusa Destroyer. The Medusa Destroyer is one that I'm kind of on the fence about, so let's take a look at it. So the Medusa is sort of like a... It's very similar to the Enforcer that I have. But it's more of like a high-tech escort. So its special ability is a phase skimmer, teleports the ship forward the direction it's traveling, so it can sort of phase jump up to 3 times. And you know, I don't think it's worth a story point in this case, even though I'm ship poor. I think story points should be better used. Now, there is an ability to undemod ships, which we can easily work towards. So that would be hull restoration. I think that's probably the first major skill that I'm going to be moving towards. But let's run our raffles. So first raffle is for the second officer, or first officer's name. Open Sprocket. Well, that's an interesting name. Alright, let's also name our ship. Thryfang. Well, that's a good name for a ship. And let's name the mule Sutastig. The buffalo, Bobabashug. The Phaeton, Siddhartha Gaia. And I'm not going to bother with the Cerberus, only because well, actually, that one's shielded, so maybe I will. Guitar Lowland. And then the brand new ship we just picked up, which is now the Marauder. All right. Well, I want to... So currently, what I want to do is get to a derelict port and hire more crew. So getting to a derelict port will allow me to refit the ships that I currently have, making them more fleet ready, and the hire more crew will allow me to actually get the ship that I currently have sort of up and running. So AA is eventually going to be the initials of our faction's name. The Agro Assembly. But because we don't have a colony yet, we're just we're flying under no flag. And I have to be really careful flying back home, not to hit storms, because if a storm hits this mothballed Marauder, I lose the Marauder. You don't remember seeing slipstreams before? Slipstreams were introduced in 0.96, I believe. So they've been in the game for quite some time now. Yeah, let's make a... actually... So what we need to do is we need to go to an abandoned station. Like, I don't think Gloombridge Habitat is an abandoned station, but I don't think it counts as one. This abandoned space dock will work. Although I don't like that it's next to the Luddic path. I think that will be annoying in the long run if we're fighting the Pathers. I believe there's one in... Hybersil. No. Magic? Where was it? That's Kanta's Den. That's not what I'm thinking of. Corvus? Sharu? Yeah, so we could go to the abandoned terraforming platform in Corvus and treat that as our, like, temporary dock. But before I do that, I'm going to go to the Persean world here to hire some crew. Because I don't want to keep my ship mothballed. Because keeping the ship mothballed runs the risk of losing it. I can also black market some of this stuff. Black market the Gamma Core? It's tempting. So the crew... Let's just max out our crew. A little bit beyond max, actually. And then unmothball. Still under strength, so I need at least 307 crew. Alright. And one thing to note is I'm interacting with the black market. I'm not allowed to buy on open markets. The only open market I'm allowed to buy from would be the pirate open market. So there we go. Now I have enough crew to get that ship up and running. Why are you chasing me? Seriously? I barely did any black market trades. Get out of my face. They're so rude. So yeah, let's treat Corvus's abandoned terraforming platform as the our sort of storage base of operations. Wasn't selling AI cores to Tritac more lucrative? I can't sell to Tritac. It's against the rules. So here's an instance where I am being ambushed by pirate scouts, and I could fight them. But in this case, I'm actually going to use story point to disengage. So one of the benefits of using story points to disengage is you get bonus experience as a result. I'd rather avoid situations like that, which is exactly why I'm actually headed to a dry dock in order to refit the ships so that they move faster. So whoever that was trying to intercept me, I just dodged. There's a probe to analyze out here for the pirates and a derelict ship. I am way more interested in a derelict ship than I am the probe. So let's pick that up. They're in opposite directions, so doing both is not likely all that possible. Initially, I'm mostly focused on fleet speed, and the reason I'm focused on fleet speed is it will allow me to do mission completions more quickly for money, and also do more exploration. So the faster our fleet moves, and also like just being slow makes you an easy target to kill. So this is an abandoned terraforming platform, so I can use the local facilities to refit my fleet, because it won't damage the ships as a result. So I did want to, if we take a look here at, oh, there's also like a ship here that we could take. I don't need it though, What is this, a crew? No, what is this? It's a Hermes? Yeah, I don't want, even if it's free, I don't want it. So yeah, let's take a quick look. As far as the fleet goes, the Buffalo and the Phaeton move at 7, and the Griffin moves at 8. I'd like everything to move at 9+. So let's go refit the Boba Bashug. So it has a degraded drive field, which lowers its burn level and increases its sensor profile. So that's really bad for smuggling. It also has a civilian hull. So what I can do in this instance is I'm actually going to strip it of its weapons, because it's a ship that really should never be in fight. Oh, you know what I just realized? Wait, I am at a dock. Oh, colony with a spaceport or orbital station. Yeah, I'm not at that kind of dock. I don't have a lot of the weapon or the hull mod blueprints to begin with, so I'm not going to be able to do a lot of the refitting in this case. Should a pirate base count? No, just read the details so that I don't have to repeat myself an insane amount of time. It's all written up in the details. All you got to do is click that link, and it explains you the restrictions and rules to the series, spelled out pretty plainly and clearly. So if I can't do that right now, it seems to me like I don't really have access to the hull mods that I would really want to be putting on this anyway. Like efficiency override mods or anything like that. So maybe I'll leave these alone. The other thing that I could do is obviously drop them off if I don't necessarily need the cargo, but I think that might not be a good idea in the long run. Wow, this is a beat up ship. Oh my goodness. I'll put reinforced bulkheads and hardened systems on it. It can actually store a lot more. Blast doors. It's the best I could do for you. So this is the one that I would actually want to refit significantly. So I'm going to try to do the autofit. And one thing to make sure in doing the autofit is don't buy ordnance from markets and don't allow black market purchases, because I'm not allowed to do any of that stuff. So I would like this as just a standard. So what we're doing is we're only autofitting we're only putting equipment that I currently own on it. So a lot of these slots are going to be left empty because I simply just don't have the weapons to put on it, which is totally fine. So it gave it a dedicated targeting core, reinforced bulkheads, and a flux capacity. I did happen to have like needlers and Vulcan cannons, so it's actually not that bad. It's like a totally reasonably workable ship. It's not one that I'm going to want to be able to... it's not one that I want to like manually control ever. Because it's going to be super awkward to control, so I'm setting it up so that it's like... ready to be part of the fleet without me having to control it directly. And we could put our open sprocket as the captain of this ship. It's really too bad. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to strip the mule and then auto-fit this again, allowing it to use stuff from the mule, and then auto-fit the mule. So the mule dropped a composite turret, dropped its main turret. Actually, it could... well, that's weird. It didn't put the assault chain gun on it. That's a totally reasonable thing for the mule to have. It's actually a very decent weapon. It's just very, very short range. So maybe I'll do... I won't do autofit. I will... oh, I don't have ITUs. There. This mule is a little bit more combat ready. Orcsbane, thank you for the resub. And Fnar as well. And just so that the extra ordnance points goes away, I'll put some light as LMGs on this thing and some more mods. Oh, it can even handle more. All right, there we go. So many mods and demods. That's good refitting. So if we wanted to use the cargo areas, and I do, because I want to limit the amount of space that I have in the fleet, I'm going to keep the heavy machinery with me in case I find a ruin world, because we're really going to need to hit those ruins often. But this space station is abandoned, and items here are safe. They're not going to be stolen from me or anything like that. Okay. So currently accepted missions is to go out to Gap, to analyze a derelict ship, and to return the data core, which I'm going to sit on for a while. So I don't have the fuel. Where is Gap? I don't think I have the fuel to get there and back without the help of slipstreams. It is a blue giant. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe I do. It's this one? Yeah, okay. So the fuel range here, the deeper orange is where I can there and back, and the lighter orange, the less opaque, is a one-way trip. So what it's telling me essentially is I don't have the fuel to make a round trip. So I'll buy some black market fuel. And I'm going to go over to Jangala and buy some black market fuel over there as well. Paddywagon, thank you for the sub. And Louis for the resub. Cheers. Okay, now I can make a round trip there. Suspicious cargo found. What did you find? No overt contraband, but they think I black marketed the fuel. So they damaged my, they damaged Marauder as a result of their aggressive searching. Frickin' Border Patrol. That's why I don't like the hegemony. Alright, I'm going to be real paranoid of any fleets trying to get near me or cut me off. Because I've had a lot of pirates, like, harass me. And I want to be on their side, and it doesn't really... I can't be if I keep killing them. So there is a slipstream, a tiny one, coming the wrong direction here. The other thing I can start to do is to build up slipstream knowledge. So there's a new concept, well, it's not that new, but there's a concept in this game, a major event of the slipstreams, which I have no knowledge of yet, but I will soon, which allows you to build up a map of slipstreams and then actually to use it to your own advantage for faster long-distance travel. And there's a bunch of other long-distance travel options. There's jump gates, and now there's also wormhole anchors, which is very cool. Connecting, like, two distant worlds together. There's new campaign options to be able to make your own gates and make your own wormholes, giving the player a lot more options for high-speed, long-distance travel, plus making your own slipstreams. Because I think what ended up happening was the Fractal Softworks, or the developer rather, realized that traveling over long distances constantly is not always compelling. It is compelling really early on in the game. It's possible to find derelict ships just like floating out here, waiting to be found by me, and then salvaged, which would be amazing. Oh, let me out. So slipstreams will hyper accelerate your ships in the direction of the stream and then reduce the amount of fuel that you use by 75%. But you're kind of glued to them a little bit. So, the ship is orbiting in an active gate. Well, that should be really easy to find. It's right there. So it is a Medusa class. Ran the package and salvaged the ship. There's also Manticore here. So pirate Manticores are pretty dang good. They're destroyers, so they're not large ships. Oh, and there's someone in them. There's a Lieutenant, Monday Buckley, in them. So let's take a look at this Manticore. It only has 1 D-mod. Degraded life support, which is not a particularly bad one. Oh boy. Yeah, I think this Manticore is probably worth the story point. Because Manticores are ships that are really good. They're very effectively controlled by AI. So that is our only remaining story point. And I am going to mothball my shielded cargo ship in order to get the Manticore up and running. Oh, here we go. So, in salvaging this debris field, we got a little bit of hyperspace topography. So I can actually show you what that's about in a minute. Oh, and there's a Cerberus that I wouldn't even need a story point for, but no thanks. Not a ton of ships broken down here. There's also a few other points of interest here in the Sol system. There's something out this way. A Hound freighter with crew in it. I bet that's enough crew to unmothball this ship, and it was. Okay, so all of our ships are running with the crew that I found. This is a world with ruins. So if you're wondering how I know that, it's these little orbiting Kessler syndrome garbage around the planet, which indicates that there's a ruin there. So, like, this is actually another world with ruins. As you can see, there's debris there, too. So, definitely survey. Extensive ruins found. Explore the ruins. And we have a missile autoloader ship mod with a heavy burst laser, a Hurricane Merv. Not bad find. Not legendary, but not bad. And the other set of ruins has an administrator, Wednesday 3rd shift. That sounds like a time, but okay, if that's your name. Here we got a heavy mortar, not a bad weapon. Have a ton of food, which I am not going to have space for all of it, so we're going to have to leave some of it behind. So here's the hyperspace topography, the major event. So we have 19 progress towards topography, and you start to gain benefits as you build up a topographical map of the slipstreams. So at 100 points, traveling the slipstreams reduces your fuel by 75%. At 250 points, it allows a spaceport to detect nearby slipstreams. Detection range increases for large colonies, and claim sensor arrays within 5 light years provide additional detection range. Plus 2 light years for domain and 1 for makeshift. Up to 3 sensor arrays can be used. Reverse polarity. it unlocks an ability which allows your fleet to travel against the current of the slipstream, which is incredibly helpful. It doubles the amount of directionality of the slipstream. That's awesome. Then there's hyperfield optimization. Max burn increased by 3 while in hyperspace. So that's not just slipstreams, that's just always. You always move 3 burn faster in hyperspace, which is really nice when you're running around with giant capital ships, because capital ships are very slow normally in hyperspace. So that will really speed up your hyperspace. Then you have generate slip surge, which allows your fleet to create a powerful short-lived slipstream for rapid travel. And then once you max out, what ends up happening is you are given a topographical map of the galaxy, which can be sold, sort of like survey data, and it resets your event progress so that you can keep getting new topographical maps to be sold. And they can be sold to, well, for me, to black markets. What is this? It's a mule. I don't have story points, so I wouldn't be able to recover that anyway. Oh, there's even more stuff down here. Oh, another planet with ruins. So we get an ECM package. Okay. The organics are worth more than food, so I'm prioritizing picking up organics over the food. Yeah, this is an old ruin system. Oh, a Valkyrie troop transport. It's too bad I don't have a story point for this. So what these ships are is like a high-volume crew transports, mostly designed for like Marines to be able to attack planets and installations, but I don't have story points for it. Plus, it would be really early for me to consider it because it's a really expensive ship to upkeep unless you're actually using it, and because I don't need to be transporting. Oh, who are you? And I don't want to find out. No, you're okay. You're definitely a pirate fleet, given that it looks like a pirate mule. But one of the benefits I have, and I got I have another story point. One of the benefits I have now with that Griffin cruiser is my fleet looks a little bit more dangerous, so they're less likely to mess with me. So I really want to get to hull restoration first. So I'm going to pick one of these industry skills in order to work my way there. Polarized armor, I think, would be really nice. And then I could even use a story point to make it elite to increase my flux dissipation rate when venting. So here's my other options. Bulk transport, which increases cargo capacity and fuel capacity and personnel capacity. But I got kind of lucky with getting a Buffalo and a Phaeton. So that's not... It's a nice to have, but because of that Buffalo and Phaeton, I don't need it necessarily. The biggest benefit there is increases the burn level for all non-militarized civilian ships, which would speed up my Buffalo and Phaeton, but I can refit those at some point, so it's kind of moot. Field repairs, which allows you to fix ships up post-combat, which is super sweet, but I don't think it's going to be as strong as polarized armor. So polarized armor increases the max damage reduction of armor from 85 to 90, and because I have a armored destroyer, that's really helpful. And 50% armor for damage reduction calculate only. EMP hull damage is also reduced based upon hard flux level, and then it can increase your flux dissipation while venting, so you can vent faster. And then ordnance expertise is actually pretty good too, which is additional flux dissipation per weapons point on weapons. So if you have a ship covered in weapons, you get more flux dissipation as well. And the elite version of that is really nice for the flux capacity. Actually, I'm going to go with ordnance expertise. And if you're ever wondering, you can reassign your skills with a story point. So I will elite version that. So just I have a ton of flux capacity. Normally, I would probably take navigation really early on for the transverse jump, which is very helpful for avoiding police. Maybe I take that next, but I think hull restoration is going to be game changing, because hull restoration allows me to actually remove these demods and have ships that are actually decent rather than nearly destroyed. And then sensors is also really good as a smuggler, because it decreases the range at which you're detected, increases the range at which you can detect others, and then also allows you to sneak faster, essentially. So there's a whole lot of skills that are pretty attractive. Yeah, I just saw that pulse. That was a red pulse. All right, let's get out of here. I'm low on supplies. I'm going to suspend repairs to stretch supplies, and we will land in Nakara. I think that's the closest. Thank you for the oh Jesus. You're chasing me, aren't you? Thank you for the resub. Slipstream's kind of having us go in the right direction. Also, if you ride the slipstreams and go super fast for a while, you can build up topographical map knowledge as well. There's a bunch of different ways. Another really easy way is to scan gas giants or ice giants. You can also scan magnetic fields, I believe. I think that one's new in 0.97a. So we'll be slowly working on our topographical map data, because it will really help us explore the galaxy more quickly. Chasing me? No. This is just the first. Why are you... What possible thing? No! My transponder's on! What the hell do you mean? Get out of here, you jerk. God, they're literally framing me for stuff I didn't do. What a whack job. Alright, I'm going to sell these survey data here on the black market. Might as well. And then just like buy as much fuel and supplies as I can. What's my favorite mod? I've only ever played with Nexarellan, so... that, I guess, as a de facto winner. Because I've almost never played anything but vanilla. Whoa, there's a lot of black market fuel here. I'm sure the hedge is going to be really pissed that I bought all this black market fuel, but like, I don't care if they're pissed. I'm also going to buy a few more crew, just because we're very close to skeleton crew levels. So if we have a ship battle and we lose a few people, that will help to keep us afloat, so to speak. Oh, okay, the Luddic path is interdicting me. Oh, I hate them. Alright, I'm going to go over and drop off the... what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up new pirate missions. And see if we can't build up our rep. So currently, I think we're at 62. No, negative 55 to pirates. That's actually pretty good. So we've gained 10 rep with them already. So as long as I can avoid fights with them and continue to run missions for them, we will be in their good enough graces that they won't pick fights with us openly. So I do have that core to deliver to Galatia. Oh, wow. Hello, broken ships. Now here's the thing. I don't have story points, so if any of these ships, like a hammerhead wouldn't be terrible to get, but if any of them require story points, oh, I can just recover it. Okay then. Dibs. A lasher. I coming back later. A wolf. I'm very ship poor, so yeah, I'll even take a wolf. A broken wolf. That freighter was unrecoverable. I don't even want a kite. I'll take a dram. Dram's a little fuel ship. Condor is not recoverable. Kite was not recoverable. And Buffalo, not recoverable. Well, that was not bad at all. Thank you for tuning in to Starsector Scrappy Privateer, which originally streamed live on Twitch February 3rd and February 4th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below, but please keep in mind that this is a series from a marathon stream, meaning that changes cannot be made to the series. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, a link can be found in the description of this video or also at Rhadamant.com. Additionally, in the description of this video is a link to the details about this series, if you're wondering about the scenario series rules or goals. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. Hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow privateers.